Ricker here, and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be discussing my top 5 monsters in Monster Hunter World. So let's get right into the video with some honorable mentions. Honorable mention number 1 is, of course, you guys probably should have guessed it, Dodo Gamma. I don't know. You guys probably guessed he was on my top 5 list, but no, he's just an honorable mention. The reason why he's only an honorable mention is, well, I just have some monsters better than him. Okay, there are some monsters that are better than poor old adorable Dodo. Now the reason why he's an honorable mention is because he is awesome by a design standpoint, kind of annoying by a battle standpoint in my mind, and freaking adorable. Seriously, why would anybody ever kill Dodo Gamma? If you kill Dodo Gamma, you are officially a monster and should never play Monster Hunter World. Instead, you should be the thing being killed by hunters. You got that? And he's also cool from more parts of a design standpoint, like how he freaking eats rocks and bars them up as big magma balls at your face. That's pretty cool. He uses an internal furnace to cook up the crystals and rocks that he eats, and then blast them out at you as gigantic explosive balls of death. Next honorable mention is Radabon. I just really like the concept of an Uragaan leaving the Elder's Reach and going to the Rotten Vale like, huh? Where are the Fire Cell Stones? I can't explode without them. I guess I'll just eat some sleep herbs. And became a herbivore and got his sleep gas instead of the fire gas. And he's like, oh no, there's no more gold to cover myself with. I'll just grab some bones. And he just covered himself in bones instead. I just love how an Uragaan went to the Rotten Vale and he replaced his explosives because he had no Fire Cell Stones with sleep. And replaced his gold and armor with bones because he didn't have no gold. I just really like that. The next honorable mention is Bazelgeuse because, well, you know what I'm going to do, guys. Dun, 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 dun. He's awesome by a design standpoint and just by a fighting standpoint because he has the explosive scales that he'll drop around on you. But one of the most annoying parts about him and one of the coolest parts about him is that he'll sense when you're fighting a monster. When a monster aggro's onto you, he'll hear that cry, and he considers it a cry for help and a cry of possible food. And he'll take off and fly in to save/eat the monster that you're fighting. He doesn't attack any other thing, because the second he hears that monster aggro roar, he takes off and flies right to it. Because that's Bazelgeuse. And he has a shock absorbent scales that save him, and just from a battle standpoint. I mean, everybody's first encounter, my first encounter was, I was going, hunting a Radabon, and then, dun, dun, dun. My screen turned around and saw Bazelgeuse. And I just heard, dun, 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 dun. Of course, I already knew who Bazelgeuse was, so by that point I was like, holy crap, and was running for my life. The only thing that influenced me to fight a Bazelgeuse was when he absolutely obliterated a Dodo Gamma. And as you know, I do not tolerate somebody hurting a Dodo Gamma. So, I went and fought him, and he was way easier than Deviljho, and he's such an interesting fight. The easiness, yet power. You can easily power your way through it, but not before fainting a couple of times. You know, it's quite an elegant dance in my mind of it's equally balanced. And my first time my third time fighting him, it was equally balanced. We were each good powerhouses, and we each were equally balanced in how powerful we were against each other. It was awesome. And my honorable mention that I really wish could get in the list, but didn't because it's only a top 5, is Great Jagras. You heard that right. Great Jagras. He's just so interesting on a design standpoint. Sure, his fight standpoint isn't very interesting. You can kill him in a minute, but still, his design standpoint is so cool. He has his little pack of Jagras that help him do what he needs to do, and how he takes care of them and keeps them loving him is he'll go out and kill an Aptonoff. Then he'll dislocate his jaw, swallow it whole, and extend his stomach. That also makes his fight more interesting because he tries to squish you with that giant stomach. But when he swallows it and you don't aggro him after that, he'll run off to his nest and barf it up so the jaguars can eat it. And that's why they still obey him, because he feeds them. If he stopped feeding them, they would stop obeying him. That is the thing. That's very interesting. Now, on to my top 5 list. Number 5, Kulu Yaku. Yes, Kulu Yaku is extremely weak and crap. I don't give a crap about that. But from a design standpoint, he's amazing. If you just follow him around, he won't naturally aggro because he doesn't really care. He's too frightened to fight. And he'll just, go around. Then all of a sudden, you see the hunger icon, and he'll dash away from you. Go over to the Apsaros nest, pick up an egg, then dash away at extreme speed while the Apsaros give him terrified looks of, oh no, our babies are gone again. Then you follow him to his nest, and what do you see? Him just pecking at the egg until it cracks open and just drinking it like you were nice and calm. Then when he finds a larger, more threatening monster, he'll just pick up a rock, roar at it, and donk it in the face. That's, I think pretty cool. And he'll just randomly drop the rock because he's so clumsy. You couldn't just be fighting him and then just 2 seconds after he picks it up, I slipped! Now my rock is gone. Oh. Anyway, moving on. Number 4 is Anjanath. He's very interesting from a fighting standpoint and a design standpoint. Because the best way to fight him is to give him a bunch of nut shots. Because his legs are the safest place. His only leg attack is a puny little kick. I also like how his main damage is in the head. Yet you have to break his head to make almost all of his gear. You're just like, I need these fangs, but I get the fangs from breaking his most offensive part of his body. It was so frustrating back when I was constantly farming him to get his weapons and gear, only to then farm Rathalos. And then after I was done farming Rathalos to get full low-rank Rathalos gear, I did the low-rank Anjanath quest because I was really weak back then, okay? And he's interesting from a design standpoint because, number 1, he's a freaking T-Rex, and I love T-Rexes. T-Rexes are awesome, and if you don't think T-Rexes are awesome, then you're an idiot. Actually, no, you're not an idiot. Everybody has their own opinions. You're totally fine to be wrong. So, he's a T-Rex monster thing. Who doesn't love that? Also, he's actually logical because he has body oils in his flame sack that he'll use to, make fire. He also uses his gigantic nose extension to inhale the great amounts of oxygen he needs to ignite that body oils, and he uses those oils plus body heat and extreme amounts of oxygen to create flames. He'll also extend up his back sails to cool himself down. He's a very biologically sensible monster, which I just love about this game. Most monsters biologically make sense, besides the Elder Dragons. Because they're supposed to not make sense. That's the entire purpose of an Elder Dragon, is to not make sense. That's the entire reason why they're called Elder Dragons. Because everybody's so baffled by them that they're just called Elder Dragons because they don't know what category to put them under. So yeah, I just love Anjanath from a design and not real as much the fight standpoint, but still, he was such an imposing threat back when I was just doing a trial version of the game. I wanted to kill him. He was my favorite monster up until I met, well, I'll tell you in number 1. But that was the only thing I wanted to kill. I did not care about the story back then. The second I unlocked expeditions, I was going after Anjanath. I wanted to kill him. I felt like he was the apex, the last lion in the ancient forest, and I had to take him out. Little did I know that pretty soon after I took him out, I discovered Rathalos and tried to kill him instead. Anyway, moving on to number 3, Xeno'jiiva. Who doesn't like Xeno'jiiva? I mean, from a design and fight standpoint, they're the exact same. He's a baby. He's clumsy. He makes mistakes as you fight him, and he doesn't know his full potential. That's the entire thing that makes his fight and design interesting. He feeds off elder energy, and that fuels him, and it makes him just so... that gorgeous glow, and just how the fight works, how he slowly gets stronger, realizing his abilities and learning how to control them over time. It's just so beautiful. And then Arch-Tempered is basically a Xeno'jiiva that's had a few days without the hunters discovering him to practice his abilities, to learn how to be a Xeno'jiiva. I just love Xeno'jiiva. Number 2, Leshen, or if you don't think crossovers count as actual monsters because you're a dingus, Kul'Taroth. So, first of all, if you think crossover monsters count as monsters, Leshen. It's just such an interesting fight in my mind, and of course it's the reason I'm wearing this beautiful armor set. And yes, I do love the Geralt armor set. I don't play Witcher, but I love the look of Geralt. It's so amazing in my mind. Anyway, and also, look at them skills! Anyway, the Leshen, I just think it's an extremely interesting fight. It's extremely fun. The first time I did it, it was pure chaos. It was extremely hard, but it's such a unique quest that you fight the Leshen on. You have a bunch of side quests, a bunch of different things to do. It's stylized as if it's a completely different game, which, by the way, it's actually very soft for one. Tisk tisk crossover. So yeah, it's so interesting. The Leshen itself, it's minions over the creatures of the forest, fueled by its woodenness, as it destroys you with roots, Jagras, Revoltures, and teleportation. It's just insane. It takes forever, but it's so elegant and fun. Each zone getting progressively harder as you try your best to kill this imposing force of a woodland spirit. As you try to conquer him, you go along side quests, saving a Pukei-Pukei, befriending the more Gadulakas. It's just beautiful. And once you befriend the Pukei, during the quest, all of a sudden you're fighting him, and then right when it's the final stand, all of a sudden Geralt says, the monster I saved, and Pukei's health bar appears, and you have to heal him with life powder to get a free attack jewel. I just love that part. This is the best part of the quest, is the freaking attack jewel. It's freaking attack jewel, a free attack jewel that you can get anytime, whenever you want. Just, oh man, if you farm that quest, you're farming attack jewels. Freaking attack jewels. To be honest, if you're a person who has trouble getting attack jewels, then do that quest. Then do the Pukei-Pukei Imperil part of that quest. Just do that over and over again. Keep the Pukei alive and you'll get attack jewels. If you have 1,000,000 attack jewels, frick you, you're a hacker. But it's just so interesting from a design standpoint. It coming from another world, having unworldly power, and you would need something that's not from your world. Geralt of Rivia to come in and help out to kill a monster from his world. And you get to choose your weapon type from Geralt's special weapon to the Monster Hunter weapons, like the max level Bone Greatsword. It's just it's such a great quest. And then the monster itself is what I'm talking about here. The Leshen itself is beautifully designed based off of the Witcher games, how they designed it. A woodland creature, a spirit, using that deer skull. And just how it controls other creatures. It's so beautiful. And then its bleeding fingers as its roots pierce you from the ground. And its shield of revolters, like you have to engulf it in flames to get rid of that. And then you have to wait for your flames to recharge until, yeah, Igni, light on fire! Just such a good hunt. And of course, if you're a dingus and think the crossover monsters don't count, you little dingus, Kul'Taroth. Of course, if you've hunted Kul'Taroth before, you know all about Kul'Taroth. She's the glorious golden goddess of Monster Hunter world. What's not to love? You just start the fight, and she doesn't even care about you. She's just going about her own business, and you're slowly ripping her gold off of her body for rewards. And you just drop rocks on her head. She goes, ugh, lays on the ground for a bit, then just gets up, still not caring. Then you reach the second area, and all of a sudden she's like, "Okay, I'm done with you, pesky little fleas." And she tries to burn you with a beam strong enough to melt gold. And it's just insanely hard. I could never get past that when I was helping out other people. Well, that was with Arch-Tempered Kolv. Then you go to the next area, and Kolv's coat starts heating up as it's easier to chip off. And then you find, and then it's either in the previous zone or this zone, you finally get the horns off and cover the golden coating, but the horns are still on there. Then you reach the final stand, where it's just insane. Kolv sheds off her golden coat, revealing her extremely agile self. And then it's just insanity as you try to dodge her extremely agile attacks now. And get her horns off. You just attack and attack and attack her head as much as possible until finally those glorious horns fall off and she just runs away. You don't even get to kill her. She just loses her horns, and then that's the fight end. You carve both horns, and then you get the most glorious elemental weapons in the entire game, and just, Kolv's rough. You're nowhere near as good as Leshen in my mind, but you're still beautiful. And my overall #1 favorite monster in Monster Hunter World is the one I was hinting at back with Anjanath when I said I love T-Rex monsters. Deviljho, the Angry Pickle, the big green T-Rex, Green Barney, Green Elmo, as Lucky Shooter calls him, which I laughed my head off about. Deviljho, the Angry Pickle himself. My favorite monster in Monster Hunter World. Ever since I heard of Deviljho in Monster Hunter, I've been like, that is gonna be my favorite monster when I play this game. I'm going to love that thing, and it will be my favorite. Then I fought him, and I realized his personality, and it just made me love him even more. He's interesting from both a design and fighting standpoint, just like Leshen and Kolv Taroth, except for he amplifies that by a crap load in my mind, because he's a T-Rex monster. And his pure fury and anger and rage and hunger for more death and food. In my mind, it's insanely awesome, and it's really cool to fight. As well as the fact that he has some of the coolest attacks in the game. His personality, I already told you, he's angry. He doesn't care. Even when you pitfall him, he doesn't care he's stuck in a trap. He still attacks you. He still rams his head into you, fires his dragon breath at you. He doesn't care if he's stuck in a trap. He still cares more about killing you than he does about escaping a pitfall trap. That's Deviljho. As well as when he's enraged, his blood boils with pure fury because he just hates you so much. He hates you and everything about you. He's relentless. He does not care that you might have a family. He does not care that you want to have a nice, happy life. He wants to ruin everything for you. He wants to ruin everything for everyone, starting with you and your friends. Because he just doesn't care. He doesn't care about anything except himself, his anger, and his hunger for more dirt and meat. It's just so amazing in my mind. And then his fighting standpoint. Sure, you might have a gigantic, super fast sweeping attack, broken hitbox, but his anger is another part of his fight. When he gets enraged, it goes from, oh gosh, this is hard, to run, this is insane, we'll never be able to beat this. That is what I like. It goes from, oh, this is really hard, I'll never be able to do this, to, oh my god, how does anybody kill this creature? I'm going to die and fail this quest. Oh, wait, it's an expedition, but I still feel like I'm going to think 1,000 times and fail the expedition. You know, it's insane once he gets angry. He dragon breaths, he constantly attacks at insane Odogaron-like speed. And then and most of his body, unlike in his normal state, most of him is a weak point. When he's enraged, nope, only 2 weak points. And if you don't hit them, you'll never kill him. And those weak points are right near his head, which, just like Anjanath, is his most deadly area. So, in order to kill him when he's enraged, you can't cut his tail off when he's enraged because it's no longer a weak point. And if you want to kill him while he's enraged, good luck. You're gonna have to get beat up while beating him up. It's just so cool. And then, if you're trying to escape from him, like, oh God, this is too hard for me. I gotta go. You'll just be running away, and then all of a sudden, boom! Smack right in the head with a gigantic boulder. You turn around and see Devil Joe fling another one at your face. And then that just makes you angry as well. It's just awesome. I love that thing. And also the reason why I have Geralt with the Pookie Greatswords is in honor of the Pookie that he saved and then returned the favor. R.I.P. Pookie. R.I.P. the first time I did that quest, Pookie. You were very brave, but you died instantaneously because I'm an idiot. The second attempt, Pookie. Hooray! You're still alive! Your father died, but who cares about him? Anyway, that is my top 5 monsters and 4 honorable mentions in Monster Hunter World. Hopefully all you guys have enjoyed, and it's taken so long that it's already sunset in Monster Hunter. Jeez, it took me almost an entire day of talking to you guys about this. Well, that's all for now, folks. I've been Great Gecko. Hopefully you all have enjoyed. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for the notifications on all my latest content. I'll see you all later. Actually, no, there's no stupid. I'll see you all later. No, wrong gesture, Geralt. Oops, sorry. I just like to do Igni. Well, I'll see you all later. Hey. Bye! Pippi Kitty, get your name tag out of the way. Bye!